What's up, folks? It's your bro, Rich here. Today's video is now part 8 on the Cadillac Dorado. Today's video now doing the next version, which is the Gen 8 Dorado from 1967 to 1970. So before I get started, make sure you all like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so that I don't want to make brand new uploads. Okay, so without any further ado, let's begin. So the Gen 8 or 8th Gen Dorado from 1967, say 1967 to 1970. Here we go. Overviews first, as always. So let's do it. So production was obviously between 67 and 70. So 67 and 70. Assembly is in Detroit, Michigan. Say Detroit, Michigan. Say Detroit, Michigan. Designer was the man, the myth, legend himself, Bill Mitchell. God rest his soul, may rest in peace. Set designer Bill Mitchell, may rest in peace. Body and chassis next. The body style is a two-door hardtop. Layout is longitudinal, front engine, front wheel drive. Are you kidding me? Now, like, who thought that was a good idea? Front wheel drive in a Cadillac. I mean, rear wheel drive would have been fine, but front wheel drive, I would disagree with that if I were you. Say longitudinally mounted front engine rear wheel drive, not rear wheel drive, sorry, front engine front wheel drive. Platforms and E-body. It's related to both the Buick Riviera and the Oldsmobile Dorado. Say also both the Buick Riviera and the Oldsmobile Dorado. Powertrain is next. For the motor, we got 3 different versions of the V8s. So the first one's a 429, a 7.03 or 7-liter overhead valve V8 only for 1967. So the 7.03 liter 429, so 7.03 liter 429 overhead valve V8 motor, only for 1967. And the next one we got is a 472. So a 7.7 liter 472 V8 introduced in 1968. So introduced a year later after the 7-liter V8. So introduced in 1968. A 7.7 liter 472 V8 introduced in 1968. 2 years later, in 1970, we got the 500, an 8.2 liter V8. The world's biggest V8 in any kind of production car. I mean, modern-wise, the biggest would be probably 6.2 to 7 liters. But for these classic cars, for these 60s, 70s, 8.2 is like the biggest, especially in the Cadillac. So the 8.2 liter 500 V8. So 8.2 liter 500 V8 introduced in 1970. Transmission was a 3-speed automatic. What's wrong with a manual? It's probably just for like cruising and all that stuff. Anyways, dimensions is next. So it's pretty kind of basic and easy, not too confusing with so many of the differences, because different versions of the different types from the different years, from different generations, have different types of dimensions. So that gets a bit confusing, but this one's a bit more simple, a bit more simpler. Dimensions of wheelbase is 3,048 millimeters, approximately 120 inches, dead on for wheelbase. Length 5,613 millimeters, 221 inches dead on for length. Width 2,029, well, 2,030 millimeters if you round up. 79.9 80 inches if you round that up. And the curb weight, it comes in at 4,700 pounds. Well, 4,696, but I just round up, which is 2,130 kilos. So 2.1 tons for that car. It's not too bad, but not too good as well. It's somewhat okay-ish. Anyways, moving on. So, the Eldorado was radically redesigned for 67 as a front-wheel drive hardtop coupe, becoming Caddy's entry in the era's burgeoning personal luxury car. So personal luxury car market. Promoted as a personal caddy, it shared the E-body with the Gen 2 Buick Riviera and the Gen 1 Oldsmobile Toronado, which had been introduced the previous year. To enhance its distinctiveness, Caddy adapted the Toronado's front-wheel drive Unified Power Plant pack, or UPP, made it to a 7 liter Cadillac 429 V8 to a Turbo Hydra-matic. So to a Turbo Hydra 425 automatic. So presumably that's a 3-speed, I think. So yeah, to a three-speed Turbo Hydra 425 automatic. Front brake rotors are optional, and new standard safety equipment included an energy-absorbing steering column and generously padded instrument panel. The 67 Eldorado was a great departure from previous gens, which shared styling with both Caddy's DeVille and 62. GM styling chief Bill Mitchell, may rest in peace, God rest his soul, chose angular, crisp styling for the Eldorado, setting it apart from more streamlined Riviera and Toronado. The rear end design was inspired by the GMX Stiletto concept car. It's the first and only Cadillac model with the headlights concealed behind movable covers. This feature was for 2 years. This feature was for 2 years only. 67 and 68. Rear passenger windows retracted sideways into the C-pillar instead of down into the side body panel. The Eldorado achieved an acceleration time of 0 to 60 in less than 9 seconds. 9 seconds, like old classic hatchbacks would kind of do that kind of time for 0 to 60s. 70s, 80s wise. Man, oh man. So yeah, the Eldorado achieved an acceleration time of 0 to 60 in less than 9 seconds. And a top speed of 120. Roadability and neutral handling were highly praised by contemporary reviews, and sales were excellent, well, despite high list prices. its sales of 17,930, getting up to almost 18,000 units, nearly 3 times the previous Eldorado high, helped give Cadillac its best year ever. When I talk about the GMX Stiletto concept car, I ain't got a clue in the world. So nearly 3 times the previous Eldorado high helped give Cadillac its best year ever. In 1968, so a year later, the 7-liter 429 V8 was replaced by the new 7.7-liter 472 V8 motor with an SAE gross 375 horsepower and a colossally monstrous 525 pound-feet, 712 newton meters of torque. Wow. Even though it has like that decent amount of power, almost 400 horsepower, the torque on those cars is just crazy. 712 newton meters of torque, that's crazy. Despite both the larger and more powerful motor, acceleration unfortunately did not improve due to the reduction in the final drive ratio from 3.21 to 3.07. So it's 0.14 less than previously. Fuel consumption was, okay-ish. It was 10 miles per gallon in the city and 13 on the highway, so in total it's 23 mpg. I mean, it's okay-ish, but it would improve more depending on the driving. Like, depending on how your driving is. Like, depending on how your driving is, will also depend on the fuel consumption of what your mpg would be like. Because if you drive fast, it will just decrease, but if you drive normally and carefully, it will start to increase and you get better mileage and you get better fuel. And your fuel will last longer as well. So fuel consumption was 10 mpg for the city and 13 miles per gallon on the highway. The hood was extended 4.5 inches longer in the rear as to conceal the windshield wipers. The previously optional front brake rotors became standard. The bumper mounted front turn signal, blinkers and indicators, or turn signals, whatever you want to call it, and parking lights were repositioned to the fenders, replacing the end caps. The red side running lights without retroreflective markers were attached to the rear fenders. The external rear view mirrors were bigger and became rectangle shaped with both fixed housing and movable mirror. Sales set another record at 24,528. Not too bad, almost 25,000 is pretty good, with Eldorado accounting for nearly 11% of all Cadillac models sold. In 1969, the concealed, apologies for noises, just motorcycles. Yes, in 1969, the concealed headlights were eliminated, so they were removed due to the new FSR, federal safety regulations, stipulating that the headlight covers must operate within a specific period of time when either entering tunnels or darkened buildings, for example parking garages. Side impact protection beams were installed inside the doors. Both the dashboard and both the dash and instrument cluster were both redesigned. The dash cowl became both more pronounced and contained all of the controls, driver's side vents, and instrument clusters. On the passenger side, however, the vents were removed. Well, not removed. The vents were moved to a single horizontal rosewood veneer panel. The instrument clusters had a thin wood veneer panel where the warning lights are located. For 1970, proper year for muscle cars, even 1960s as well, the wood veneer was expanded to cover most of the instrument clusters. Speaking of 1970, we're on that part right now. So, in 1970, another proper year for classic good old American V8 muscle cars. God bless America, amen. In 1970, the Eldorado featured the new 8.2 liter Cadillac 500 V8 motor, putting out an SAE gross of 400 horsepower. 400 horsepower, that's pretty good from an 8.2 liter V8. Astonishing, that's just pretty good, 400 horsepower. I mean, for example, from that kind of power, a C6 Corvette with a 7 liter V8, not 7 liter, 5.7, that makes 400 horsepower. Pretty good. So in 1970, the Eldorado featured the new 8.2 liter Cadillac, or Caddy for short for Cadillac, 500 V8 motor, putting out an SAE gross of 400 horsepower and 550 pound-feet, 750 newton meters, so 550 pound-feet, 750 newton meters of torque. Not too bad. That's pretty good, pretty impressive. It was exclusive to the Eldorado until 1975, when it became the standard motor option for all Cadillac models apart from the Seville. Not sure why, but oh well. The power sunroof by ASC, American Sunroof Company, and rear Trackmaster. So Trackmaster anti-lock braking or ABS system were offered as extra cost options. It's like more expensive options technically. So styling changes for 1970. So styling changes for 1970 included a new grille with scripted Eldorado, so both Eldorado and scripted Eldorado and rectangular 8.2 liter badges, and new taillight bezels that eliminated the protruding, so protruding chrome fins, Last part, and I'll end it there for now. I'll do a little bit more a little bit later, I promise. The side running lights. So the side running lights included retroreflective, so retroreflective markers, both amber in the front, so amber in the front, and red, so amber so amber in the front, and so amber in the front and red, so amber in the front and red, so amber in the front and red in the rear, so amber in the front, so amber in the front and red in the rear, so amber in the front and red in the, so amber in the front and red in the rear, so amber in the front and red in the rear, so red in the rear. Okay, so that'll be it for now. I'll do a little bit more later. So for my next El Dorado video. So for my next El Dorado video will be about the ninth generation, so the Gen 9 El Dorado from 1971, so from 1971, so 1971 to 1971, so 1971 to 1971 to 1978. Getting quite close to the end of this. I'm not gonna lie, like more than halfway done. That's pretty good. Like, not too bad. So most of these are good, apart from the next ones, which I can tell for sure they're gonna be a little bit of a disadvantage, because from these like early, for example, like these late 80s, early 90s versions of those cars, they just don't look that great at all. I'll explain a little bit more when I get to them. I will promise I'll get to those very soon, before my vacation starts, hopefully. So so that'll be it for now. I'll do more a little bit later. I promise. Okay, so that'll be it. If you guys like this video, like and subscribe. Comment down below. Comment down below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell, and hit all, so you're alerted. So hit all, so you're alerted. So you're alerted of when I make brand new uploads. Okay, so that'll be it. I'll see you guys a little later in the next video. But until then, stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you guys later in the next video. So take care, folks. Take care, folks. Stay safe out there. Take care, folks. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys a little later. Peace out.